What's going on, everyone? Coach Damian Michael, the Shift Method. Hey, I just want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for participating in this program, and thank yourself for taking that big step into improving your training regimen, right? I know you're looking, if you've got this program, to get stronger, specifically in the squat, bench, and deadlift. So this program is going to help you get some structure, get some order, and going to help you put up some big numbers on those three lifts. Basically, what I'm going to talk about here is kind of an introduction to exactly what's going to go on in your training program. And then you're going to see me every single week, at least once, to kind of go over what's going on in your training program. So let's get right into it. So this program is primarily for people who are looking to get stronger, specifically in the squat, bench, and deadlift. So if you're someone who's a competitive power lifter, or if you're someone who's dabbling in it, or they just want their numbers to get bigger on those three lifts, this is the program for you. If you've been doing it for about 6 months, you got a little experience, but you're just not seeing the results that you want, I guarantee you if you stick with this program, you're gonna see some big improvements in those numbers. This program is gonna be 5 days a week, okay? 4 of those days you're gonna be specifically training certain lifts, and 1 of those days is gonna be a conditioning day. Conditioning is always good. You're not gonna lose your gains or strength from doing a little bit of cardio, and it'll help build up some work capacity so you're not constantly tired all the time and just keep up with your general health. In terms of breaking down the days, how it's gonna work, you're gonna be doing, like I said, 1 day of conditioning by itself. You're gonna have squat and bench 3 times a week, deadlifts twice a week, and then some accessory exercises, which I'll go through when I see you on those week-to-week breakdowns. In terms of training considerations, some things to note. First and foremost, we're gonna talk about your warm-up. Since we're doing strength building, the warm-up is very simple. You're just gonna do 5 minutes cardio of your choice, whether it's walking on the treadmill, bike, rower, anything that you want to do and have access to at about an RPE of a 4 to a 5. RPE is a 1 to 10 scale, 1 meaning you're doing absolutely no work, 10 is max effort. So 4 to 5 is kind of moderate, right? You're just going to get your heart rate up, get your body moving. And then after that, all you're going to do is warm-up sets for the exercise that you're doing. When you look into the program, I'll have exact details on how to do your warm-up sets. That's going to prepare you best to lift as effectively as possible. It's really important for these lifts that they're competition style, especially if you're looking to compete. So for the bench press, you want to make sure that you touch your chest. Can you do a touch and go? Yes. If you want to be more specific, you can do a slight pause at the bottom of the chest and make sure you fully lock out your arms. For the squat, you want to make sure you're going to just below or at parallel. And of course, for the deadlift, you want to make sure that you're able to lock out that lift. So making sure that the lifts match what you're trying to do for a powerlifting meet. For tempo, right, what does the speed look like as you're lifting? During that eccentric part of the movement, like on the way down, it should be nice and controlled. But then as you're doing the concentric part, or where you're actually putting in work, it should be as explosive as possible, right? So if I'm doing that squat, I want to be nice and controlled on the way down, and I want to explode on the way up so you can be nice and strong. In terms of rest periods, for any of the main lifts, your squat, bench, and deadlift, I'm going to give you a 3 to 5 minute rest because it's going to be extremely taxing on your body every single set. But then for your accessory lifts, you get to take 1 to 2 minute breaks, so it's a little bit shorter. These sessions are probably gonna be somewhere around maybe 30 to 45 minutes in the beginning, but as you start progressing and the sets and the exercises get longer, it's gonna probably get closer to 75 to 90 minutes. So prepare yourself because the work is gonna get longer and longer. Note that during the first couple weeks, you might be a little bit sore, and that's normal. This isn't a hypertrophy program, but doing a bunch of squat and bench press might be new to you, so it might make you a little bit sore, and that is normal. Some other things to consider. Calorie-wise, this really depends on you. If you're looking to maintain your weight, I would say just kind of stay at a maintenance. But if you're going to a specific weight class, you might need to tailor your nutrition a little bit. So that's something to consider. If I need to add a little bit more calories, or do I need to lower it a little bit if I'm trying to compete at a lower weight class? A general rule of thumb, regardless of what your calorie needs are, is you want to make sure your protein content is high, so that way you can recover, maintain, or maybe even build a little bit of muscle mass in this program. A good rule of thumb or a general recommendation is you want to do 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. 1 gram is also kind of like that middle ground. So for example, if you're 200 pounds and you can eat 200 grams of protein per day, you're going to be in an awesome place to be successful. A big thing too is sleep, right? You got to recover. So I recommend getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I know that can be tough, but try and prioritize yourself because it's going to help you ultimately recover and perform better on the next session. And just some final notes, especially for tracking progress, you're not going to be doing a 1 rep max test every single week, right? You're going to gradually progress yourself over time. My hope is as you start to get heavier throughout the weeks and you get your reps lower and lower, Hopefully you use your old 1 rep max as kind of a working set, and that'll kind of be a good way to say, oh wow, I've gotten stronger. Some other things you can look at is notice if the weight goes up every week, or your reps in reserve, you have to constantly update the weight because you're getting stronger. That's a really good way to notice progress. On the Train Heroic app, it's also going to estimate your 1 rep max every time you lift. So if you see that number creeping up over time, that is a good indicator that, man, I'm getting stronger, and that my lifts, especially when I do that 1 rep max at the end, is going to in fact go up. So that's a good thing to track as well. And what I always tell people is, if it works, if you like this program and you're seeing positive results, run it back. Maybe take like a week to deload. You can then test your 1 rep max again. But I always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So really run it back. As I said, it is an 8-week long program, and the end, the volume goes down a little bit, and it's going to be relatively high intensity. So if in fact you want to max out, take about a week to deload, keep the intensity high, keep the volume really low, and then go test it again, just like you did before you started this program. And that's it for the introduction. I'm really excited for you to start this program. You're going to do great, and I'm going to see you on week 1, day 1. So talk to you soon.